What's up, guys? This is Andre or Chokenator. Uh, so today's question is from Young Trap Lord or Ryan or Ryab or whatever you want to call him. So he asks me, who are my favorite players in the scene? He's asking about Melee, and he asks local first and then talk about it on the national scale. So looking at the local scene, first of all, let me say this, that if you're a low to mid-level player, I'm probably not going to choose you as a favorite because I'm probably going to think more about the holes in your game or more about the flaws in your game. So looking at sort of the stronger players in our region, we got, for example, myself and JR, obviously the old men. We got Spark and Azel, a young Trap Lord on the come up, ACS on the come up. We got PJ and Xander, and then we have a bunch of Fresno guys who are pretty good. And to be honest, instead of, I see you guys more as rivals. And I'm not going to just, I don't like to give too much respect to my rivals because I want to be able to play at their level and play at y'all's level and play and, just keep up with you guys. And so I think if I had to choose a favorite, it would be the one that I enjoy playing against the most. And I think by a long shot, my favorite would have to be KFC. Not just biased because he's older, he's my old rival or whatever, but I think the way he plays, there's a high level of variance because he's trying to call out my movement. The way JR plays is he always wants to be one or two steps ahead. So the way he positions himself is at spots where either you can't attack him or where he's able to throw out a hitbox where he can threaten your next attack. Like he's always ahead of the next attack that you might want to do. And because of that, he sort of establishes this fear, like I can't attack him, and then he starts moving forward. It's like a very fundamental base, a lot of Street Fighter, but at the same time, there's a lot of variance because he will go for that random grab. He will turn up the jets and start going crazy aggro sometimes. He will just run away for, ledge camp, not ledge camp, but just like, not attack for like 5 seconds. Like, back in the day, I used to call the JR as like walk away and just do an up tilt. And I know that's like a Leffen thing now, right? But back in the day, JR, he would just do it, and I was just like, that doesn't make sense to me because my brain has always been attack, attack, attack. And the way I play is like I want to be random, and I want to just do a random approach. So in order to combat JR's one or two steps ahead, I try to do really, really wild approaches that probably wouldn't hit, Azel or Spark or Trap Lord because they're covering that. They're playing solid defense. But a really, really wild approach will sometimes hit JR. It will hit him because he's not looking for it. And so just that element of just randomness, my randomness versus JR's sort of control. And sometimes I try to call out his moves, but it's really hard because his spacing is so good. And it's just a real pleasure to play him every single time I play, whether it's in tournament or friendlies, whether it's his Samus or Fox. Obviously, I do think his Fox is better if he were, well practiced in his tech skill. But his Samus is still a joy. I know he loves Samus and he really enjoys that character. So that's my favorite for now. I know I like all you guys for sure. You guys are my homies, but probably I get the most joy out of playing JR. And now as far as the national scene, I wrote down a few names here, and I'm just going to list them all. I have about 4, 5, 6, kind of technically 6 names here. So first one is Duck. And Duck is very, very clean, and I would describe his play as woke. Because his level of awareness and knowledge of the game when he plays, like his crouch cancel down tilts, the way he spaces down tilts, the way he spaces forward tilts, the way he wave dashes, the way he walks around, the way he dash dances even, the way he places dash attacks, the way he grabs, like everything about Samus and his ground game is so, so clean that when I watch him, I feel like this guy might be impossible for me to beat because I don't have the discipline. You have to have so much discipline to fight against a Samus of that level. Because Samus, with a strong ground game, is just absolutely a brick wall. You can't approach from the ground, you can't approach from the air. If you play too scared, she's going to steal your space. Like everything about Duck is just so fundamentally clean that when I look at him, it looks like it would be impossible to beat him. Next one is Wobbles, obviously for obvious reasons. I made Ice Climbers, and I think that the great thing about Wobbles is just there's also a high level of variances. There's a high level of variance in his play. He always does pretty crazy desyncs. He goes for wild options and follow-ups that no other ICs would do. I think he has the greatest level of knowledge out of any IC player. More so than Chudat. Like he knows a lot more technical things than Chudat does. Chudat has sort of a repetitive play style. Chudat plays his own game and doesn't really mix it up all too much. Like he mixes up in his own simple ways. But Wobble's mix-ups were just balls to the wall, like crazy stuff. Like he would Blizzard and he would like wave dash back and forth and then randomly dash attack you to engage. Like it's like it's just so like he has so many ideas. He's an ideas player, and that's what I love about him. He's an inventive player, and that's something I considered myself before as an Ices. I'm a little bit more fundamentally strong now as Ices, and I try to play fundamentals. But as far as like coming up with new ideas, Wobbles is the guy to look at. He invented so many things. He popularized the infinite itself. I mean, before Wobbles, we called it the Infinite, discovered by some random Japanese player, and then because of him, we started calling it wobbling. Like he just has, and it's just so much more things that he invented and brought to the table. So I love that guy. I'm so sad that he retired, but he had a really good run, and I still think Evo 2013 is the pinnacle of Ice Climbers play. People might say it maybe 2017 shoot at, but I still think that the ideas that Wobbles brought to the table in 2013, the surprises that he brought in beating like Hungrybox and Mango and PP, it was just amazing. Let's see. My next player is Shroomed. So Shroomed is really interesting, right? So he has played Dr. Mario, started off with Dr. Mario, started getting top 8 at majors, and brought his same play style to Sheik and Marth. And I think what I love about his play is how close he plays. He will dash dance right in your face, like right in and out of your range, and is kind of gambling and taking that risk to dash dance. See, some people when they dash dance are outside of your range, so that when you approach them, they're ready to counterattack. But Shroomed is dash dancing right in your face to kind of force you to attack. And that's what I love about his play. Like, he is playing two characters, Sheik and Marth, that are normally seen, or when other people play those characters, they like to play defensive because their defensive tools are so strong. But when Shroomed plays it, he's abusing the defensive tools by moving right at you, by moving toward you, and threatening, like, I have all these tools that can stop your attack, and I'm just going to keep throwing them out, and I'm just going to keep, like, mixing up your, right in your face. It's just a really pleasing style to watch. It's like he's a spacey player in a Marth Sheik body. It's really interesting the way he spaces really close. So if you guys, Shroom, some people might consider Shroom boring, because he's just very fundamentally strong. He doesn't really do anything crazy or special. He doesn't really do anything you haven't seen before. But for me, just the aggression in the way he spaces is very, very pleasing for me. Fun to play against too. I have a lot of fun playing against Dewan. And my second favorite player of all time is Nun. And you guys know that I've been playing Falcon for the past 3 months, and it's been really fun. And I study Nun the most. The way Nun engages into the corner, like a deep nair into the corner, against a dash dancing opponent is really, really brave. And he just happens to hit all his L cancels, all his spacings. The way he uses frame advantage in a weird way, like he doesn't really do your NMW knee in your shield and then dash away. Like, he'll do that, but he will very rarely do like repeat an option. Like I watch him play Mewtwo and he will do a deep nair towards the corner and then dash away and then like dash away again, and he does really long dash dances. And a lot of his movement didn't really make sense to me at first until I discovered ASDI down. And that's the real thing I really like about Nun. They call Nun the greatest crouch canceller. And the thing I noticed about Nun's dash dancing is that he's almost always ASDIing down. Especially at low percent, you see him doing these long dashes, and he does long dashes into his opponent, which doesn't seem safe, but because he's ASDIing down, the only thing that can really beat that is a raw grab. And so he's actually safe when he's running at his opponent. And so I've been experimenting with that a lot, and I call that my Nun tactic, where I have low percent and I'm just running at my opponent, holding ASDI down just to see what happens. And Nun reacts so fast off of the ASDI down. It's so fast that I don't know if he's reacting or if he's just going for a hard read, all the time. And it's pretty crazy the way he plays, and I really enjoy it. My favorite player of all time, obviously, is Mango. Like, I've been a Mango fanboy since day one. This was not a bandwagon for me. I was definitely one of the earliest Mango fanboys. Like, I first met him in 2008 at West Coast Smash League. Shout out to JR getting 5th place at that tournament, by the way. Almost beating Zoo, almost getting top 4, top 3. I think JR got 4th or 5th or something. But anyway, Mango, that's when I saw Mango's true power. This is the first time I met him, and he was just bodying everyone with every character. The way he played it didn't make sense to me. Like, Mango's play didn't make sense to me at that time. I was like, how is this guy so good? And this was like right after he stopped playing Jigglypuff and he started playing Spaceys to prove a point. That was the one tournament I saw him play Sheik in tournament just so he could beat Pink Shinobi. What's interesting is that Pink Shinobi was beating him in friendlies earlier in the day, beating Mango's Puff even, and Mango's Spaceys. and then Mango played Sheik in tournament and beat him, and I was like, what? Who's this guy? Like, and he just does wild things. Like, I think that might have been also the day where he just JV Ford Zoo, where he's having such a good time, having a ball. I think it was that day. Maybe that was a different tournament. But I saw his power, and it's hard to explain. And you guys know, you've watched Mango and his sort of crazy aggro playstyle, his crazy dash dancing, the way he jumps off stage for stuff. Like, back then, he was even more reckless than he is now. He didn't have a coach, he didn't have a team, and he just loved showing his dominance by doing stylish plays, and it's just extremely pleasing to watch. And it continues to be pleasing to watch, and it continues to be absolutely the most hype player I've ever seen play Melee. So that's my favorite. But as an extension of Mango, I'm going to say Lucky as well. And I know he doesn't completely play like Mango, but the way he plays is... he's definitely a Mango Jr., but in his own more controlled, a little more intense way. Like, Lucky will like to attack shields a lot and do the old school Mango type dash dancing and shield spacing, but Lucky will go for a little bit more safe options. And he's actually, his Fox, the way he plays Fox is sometimes more technical than Mango. Lucky will go for a lot of multi shines. He'll go for a lot of cool combos. He'll go for a lot of down tilt and up tilt. Like, because he's solo Fox and Mango is a Falco Fox, Lucky really feels like he understands, sort of the risks you might take with Fox. And it feels more intense because you can see Lucky trying to not take as many risks as Mango does. But they do play very similarly, I'm going to say. But Lucky is also a joy for me to watch. And when Lucky is on point, it really does look like he can beat anybody. And I'm waiting for the day for Lucky to beat Armada. And I think that's the final challenge for him. I guess Plup as well. I don't know if he's beaten Plup. And Lucky is also a high variance player because he drop sets to a lot of people sometimes. But it's definitely someone I really enjoy watching, and I'm really happy he got sponsored by Dig and that he did so well at Genesis this year. So that's my list. I hope that's, leave in the comments or comment, reply to me who are your favorites, or if you disagree with me on anything. I don't know how you can disagree with me on my favorites, but if you disagree with me on something, if you disagree with me that you're not my favorite, then I'm sorry, but just let me know what you think. And that's it for now. Maybe this video kind of dragged on too long, so I'm going to try to keep these shorter in the future. But anyways, I'll talk to you guys later. Thanks for the questions. I'll answer more soon. Peace, guys.